Everyone's always told me the first year of marriage is the most difficult. If we can make it through this road trip in our first year of marriage, we can make it through anything.
Take the freaking rope.
You're ready to get knocked over.
Let me back up for a minute. This is Jason. He's a filmmaker, climbing gym owner, and outdoor enthusiast from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jason loves three things: mountains, Mexican food, and his new wife, Tayler. But not in that order. Here's Tayler, a military daughter who lived pretty much everywhere. She loves the simple things in life: coffee, popcorn, books, chocolate, and jumping out of the occasional airplane or two. These two are just ordinary, adventurous people. They aren't celebrities, they aren't influencers. They're just two newlyweds who are trying to figure out this whole marriage thing.
We had to come up here to get engaged.
We got engaged.
As if being a newlywed isn't challenging enough, it wasn't long before Jason came up with a plan to make their first year of marriage way more complicated.
What if we just went and did like the Grand Teton, which I've been trying to climb for 10 years now and I have yet to summit? Or what if we went and did Mount Baker? What if we went and did Mount Whitney, the highest point in the continental US? What if we could do it all in our first year of marriage?
What are we going to get ourselves into next?
So come along as they travel over 10,000 miles all across the country, diving headfirst into their first year of marriage as they attempt to climb three of America's most challenging peaks.
Hey, thanks for holding down the fort.
Oh my God, feels so good.
All right, right behind you.
You know, this mountain, we have a turbulent relationship.
Oh my gosh.
I love you, you're gonna do great.
Where are we?
So now that you know the premise, let's back things up a bit and hear about how this crazy story began. I'll let Jason and Tayler take it from here.
This last year, I finally got married. I think that in previous relationships, I always heard things like, "You're reckless," or "Why do you always have to be on the go? Why can't you just settle down?" But for Tayler, she's probably all of those things and maybe more than even I am.
Before I moved to Tulsa, I was definitely jaded when it came to men and relationships. So Jason was a complete surprise to me.
I had talked her into dating. We got engaged, we got married.
We're both super spontaneous. And Jason, being the hopeless romantic he is, loves to surprise me with things. So Jason had planned this long road trip through one of our most favorite states, Colorado.
All right, we've packed everything into the Jeep, and it's time for a road trip.
Time for a road trip!
Small byproduct of sand duning. Oh my gosh.
Jason just looked at the mountain weather, but he won't tell me what it is.
I don't know what difference 20 degrees, 10 degrees, 0 degrees.
Well, what is it?
Well, the worst, like the lowest, it's -8.
-8.
It's a comfortable temperature. Talk to your mom. She lives in Minnesota. It's like swimsuit weather.
Our next stop was the big surprise.
Tayler does not love surprises. She generally just ruins surprises, which is frustrating for me.
And I asked Jason to just give me 5 attributes of what we were about to do.
What we are doing is fast, cozy, scenic, tasty, and elegant.
Fortunately for me, I guessed it. Again, proving I should have been a detective. But I guessed that we were going on a train ride.
All right, we are pulling into the Santa Fe Depot where the Royal Gorge Railway is. What do you think?
Woohoo! I'm excited.
It's a really, really unique experience.
You go onto the train and you get dinner and there's music and there's wine.
I was really hoping it'd be sunny, but there'd be snow everywhere, and somehow it worked out. All right, we are in the Royal Gorge. We just passed the bridge, which was awesome. Taylor?
It's
It's amazing. It's a little bit cold, but the red rock out here is beautiful. The river is stunning, and the snow just adds this special effect to it.
What do you do when it's St. Patrick's Day? And she thought she'd being clever. I said, oh, St. Patrick's Day is real easy. I just put on a green shirt with shamrocks all over it, and I play Danny Boy 200 times.
Food has been amazing, and this has actually been one of the more fun things we've ever done in Colorado.
We're still seeing all the phenomenal views that you would see on a mountaintop.
And we're drinking wine. After we finished the train, we left there. We actually drove by the Royal Gorge just to check it out from the top side, see what it was about. The next morning, our plans were to do the Via Ferrata at the Royal Gorge.
Via Ferratas offer an exhilarating experience, even if you're not a hardcore climber. These routes employ steel cables, rungs, and ladders that are fixed to a steep rock face. Climbers secure themselves with a harness and 2 leashes, and slowly traverse the cliffside. The term Via Ferrata is an Italian phrase meaning iron path. During World War I, the Italians built Via Ferratas into the Dolomites as a means to help get men and equipment in strategic positions. After the war, what started as a necessity soon turned into a booming activity, and now Via Ferratas can be found all over the world.
One of my good friends from high school, Jeremy Boswell, actually runs the Via Ferrata there, and he was taking us on a tour.
So we're about to do the Royal Gorge Via Ferrata. It's cable-guided mountaineering, so you'll be clipped in the whole time. Taylor, what are your feelings?
Doing good.
This was kind of a unique experience because normally they don't do it in the snow. You know, mountaineering and climbing and all those different things, they often happen in that environment.
I had never done a Via Ferrata before. I had no idea what it was gonna feel like, and I unfortunately have always viewed challenge as failure. Going into the Via Ferrata, I had set myself up for failure before we even got on it.
Looking good, Tay.
Feeling great.
I am also somewhat of a performer, if I'm being honest, and I think that comes out in activities like climbing and mountaineering and doing a Via Ferrata in front of other people. But you also have to allow yourself to enjoy the experience.
But it turned out to not be so crazy and difficult, and we both had a really good time. I think she had fun. I definitely remember her giving me some looks, and I'm not sure if they were looks of excitement or annoyance.
That was awesome.
It was amazing. You're looking down into this gorge on the rock face, and Jason was having a blast. Like, if I could go back, that would be one thing that I would do again, is just change my mindset.
From the Royal Gorge, the two make their way to Buena Vista to spend the night in a beautiful area known as South Main.
So the next morning we woke up and I got a little chance to go outside and scout out ahead of time.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
Oh, it's breathtaking.
All right, so I cheated and came out here earlier. I need you to walk to that corner. But when you walk to the corner, I want you to look to your left. Don't look to your right. Now look to the right.
Oh my God.
And then you turn the corner and there's this gorgeous view of the Collegiate Range. It's magical.
With their mountain climb only 1 day away, Jason and Tayler decide to spend their day getting more acquainted with terrifying heights.
We found this cliff that I think Jason had been to before, and there's a walk up, so we walked around and he's like, let's just put a little rappel in.
All set up, rappel's ready. I'm gonna go down this cliff.
Rappelling is often the quickest and sometimes only way to get off a climb. It differs from belaying in that the climber is solely responsible for their own descent. While belaying, the belayer remains stationary and the rope runs through their belay device, letting the climber down the rope. On a rappel, there's no one at the bottom to let them down. Once the rope is fastened, it remains stationary and the person rappelling slowly lets themselves down. Because rappel mechanics are similar to that of belaying, it often gets overlooked, making rappel error a leading factor in many climbing-related accidents. Let's check in with Tayler as she makes her way to the ledge.
Why am I freaking out? You're okay. It's always the most nerve-wracking getting over the ledge. Not gonna lie, I looked down and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Whew. And then you start going down, and it really is, weirdly, a peaceful experience for me.
How was it?
It was fun. There's always like a pump up factor that goes along with it where you're like, okay, I can do this, I gotta do this.
After a quick rappel, the two head south to set up camp for the night at the base of Mount Princeton.
We set up the tent and yeah, just relaxed.
We got this big tent, we got this heater, we got this mattress. It was kind of like taking camping to the next level.
4 pillows for camping?
It's called glamping, babe.
What do we do with the other 2 pillows? There's only 2 of us.
It's for the aesthetics of the tent.
What?
Here's 2 pillows, right? And then you add these 2, and automatically it goes from camping to glamping. I didn't bring a throw pillow, but next time I will.
We got it all set up, and it felt like we had our own cabin, but really it was just a tent. And the cool thing is this heater, you can actually have it in the tent. You can run the propane line outside of the tent, plug it into the propane, and we were able to keep that tent like 60 degrees when it was like 20 degrees outside. So since we set up camp so quickly, we decided to drive an hour south to the Sangre de Cristo range and hike up from 8,000 to 11,600 feet to the base of a few of my favorite 14ers at Willow Lake.
Trip update. We passed every person that was parked in the parking lot. We're on the snowfield now into Willow Lake.
Oh, the waterfall's frozen.
That's awesome.
Oh.
So we made it up to Willow Lake, and now we are down by this little waterfall, and Jason's fishing for some trout. Nice!
All right, so this is a beautiful, beautiful little trout. Look at him. Lots of pretty features, a real red belly. Look at that red belly.
Oh my gosh.
Tomorrow, Tayler and Jason have the daunting task of climbing a 14er. So tonight, they prepare by making some mountain burritos.
One of the things that I've really enjoyed about marriage is it really is like having a team. Most of my life, I was always the camp cook, but then Tayler just hops right in and just cooks incredible food. We each get to contribute and just get so many more fun things done and enjoy life more than we did when we were by ourselves, so.
2 mountain summiting burritos ready to go.
All right, we woke up. We have decided to climb in the snow to 14,200 on the mountain that I proposed to Tayler on.
Mount Democrat is one of the highest summits in the Mosquito Range of Colorado. Sitting at an altitude of 14,154 feet, it's a 3.8-mile hike up and back if you can make it to the Kite Lake Trailhead, which is 6 miles down an unmaintained road. The mountain was originally called Buckskin Peak after the rip-roaring Buckskin Joe mining camp just northwest of Fairplay. However, it was renamed Democrat by a group of rebellious Southern miners during the Civil War as a statement of political protest against Republican Abraham Lincoln. The name Democrat first appears on the map of the Land Office Survey of 1883. Many people who summit this peak also traverse the ridgeline to summit Mount Cameron, Lincoln, and Bras as well. As for Tayler and Jason, the mountain holds a special place in their hearts.
I've done over 30 of the 14ers in the state of Colorado. This one, however, Democrat, was kind of unique. I had never done it until last April. Me and Tayler went on a climb of that mountain, and I had planned to propose to her.
Our engagement story is kind of funny. I actually just started getting into climbing mountains when we met. I kept telling Jason to just leave me. I was like, just go on without me. You can make the summit. I'm not gonna make it. Just leave me here. And he was like, no, I don't want to do this without you. Little did I know that when we got to the ridgeline, he was going to get on one knee and ask me to marry him. We got engaged.
I'm like, well, I can't really propose to you at the summit if you're not there with me. So I wasn't really concerned about summiting, but we did get really high. We got about, I think, like 13.6 last year. But we went back to the same mountains. We went back to do Democrat. We knew it. But the unfortunate thing is you never know how far the road goes. So we got there and we're driving.
Oh. Definitely driving sideways right now. Are we stuck? So we're pretty stuck.
Why is half of my shovel not in there?
That wasn't as bad as you thought it was gonna be.
We gotta put a winch on this Jeep. Fast.
I don't know why I do this, but a challenge has always meant failure for me. A challenge for Jason has always meant something that he gets the opportunity to overcome. And I wish I looked at it like that.
Why are you still sitting in the Jeep?
Because I'm staying warm for a minute.
Do you still want to climb?
Yeah.
Feels like you're lying.
Why are you recording? I had an expectation that we were gonna like drive up to the base of it, be able to get on it and hike and then get off of it, and now it just feels longer.
Before I even gave myself the chance, I allowed my emotions to shut me down and become something that held me back.
All right, we're geared up.
Geared up.
You ready?
Let's do it. So we're about 1.3 miles in, which means we have about a mile left before we actually start hiking up. Physically, my legs feel great, but it is crazy how if you're not acclimated, your lung capacity is not super strong. So feeling a little dizzy, but gonna push through and see how we do.
You know, mountains, you just never know. Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're really hard, and sometimes they're impossible.
We're just having a fantastic time with weather on this mountain. First blizzard, now wind.
The weather is unknown. It keeps changing. It is sunny, then it's cloudy, then it's snowing, then the sun's back out. It's just all over the place.
Oh man. That's not gonna work.
And not to mention, we did 2.5 miles before we actually made it to the trailhead. And now we have another 2.6 something to the summit.
We start cutting towards the ridge line. And then the wind, it was like the wind died. And then it was like the wind came back. And it came back in the worst way possible.
That wind is demoralizing.
Yeah.
It was so cold that my feet were numb. At one point, he kept telling me not to take my gloves off because he was nervous I was gonna get frostbite. It was so cold.
The longer you stand still, the colder you get.
I'm tired of the wind.
What was, okay.
I'm kind of done. I can't tell if I just have a bad attitude or if I'm actually done, but I feel done.
We're close.
To the ridge.
Yeah. Hey babe, I don't think we're gonna summit. You wanna set a new goal?
What?
The ridge.
Okay.
Do your mountain dance. Yeah. Don't think about it, do it. At full speed. Get ready to get knocked over. Oh God. You okay?
I don't know how much more I can do.
We're so close. Hey, that's a big gust coming. You might go down.
We're like 13,400 something in that space. And it is so disgustingly cold.
And I'm just thinking to myself, I am just done. I'm done. I want to be off this mountain. I'm tired of getting pushed down. I'm tired of sliding. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done.
This season on Love on the Rocks,
I am ready to get back to the wild.
This is insane.
How about the exposure?
Yeah,
It's there.
best I've ever experienced. Oh my gosh. This will be interesting.
Tayler and Jason take on the ultimate challenge, a 12,000-mile road trip to climb 3 of the toughest mountains in the continental U.S., all within their first year of marriage.
This is a special couples moment.
Ow!
Are you okay? Are you all right?
Oh my gosh.
But will their marriage survive the pressure?
Tayler doesn't like off-roading, I have found out.
It's not that I don't like it, it's that when you talk down to me like I'm a child.
I'm not really used to seeing Jason go to these headspaces where he feels intimidated. I need to be on my A game and I need to know what's going on. I can't rely all on him.
This mountain wants to defeat me. The Grand Teton does not like Jason Bergs. It is not going to let him climb it. End of story.
Why did we sign up for 3 mountains?
I don't know, it made sense at the time.
It's a very difficult situation, but I can't even imagine the idea of Tayler losing her footing and sliding down that mountain and me just watching it. So I'm sitting there thinking, if she's gonna fall and slide, I'm going with her anyways.
Everything can look picture perfect on paper, and one thing can screw the entire trip up.
Officially the hardest pitch of climbing I've ever done.
Am I going to shut myself down? Am I gonna be the thing that stands in the way of doing these really amazing things because I can't get over this fear of failure? Sometimes we just need to take a deep breath and commit to the experience.
Join Tayler and Jason as they put their marriage to the test on a 12,000-mile road trip across 11 states, testing their courage, their strength, and ultimately, their trust in each other.
You know, to really love somebody, you have to make an effort. It doesn't just happen on its own.
I love you, you're gonna do great.
Thanks for climbing it with me.
Yeah.
This is Love on the Rocks.
Close my eyes, you're looking back at me. As real as autumn air, I take and breathe. Try as you might, but you can't hide from me. I know all the beauty that you keep. There is none more beautiful than you.